Today I'm going to show you how to use the snake games. In your set you should have a box with the laminated beads in. That's the coloured bead bars from 1 to 9. Then you should have a pack with 1 black and white bead stair, a pack with 3 grey bead stairs, and a pack with 1 red and white bead stair plus a set of grey 10 bars. Then a packet with some signs in for addition, subtraction, equals and brackets. Then you've got the snake game cards themselves and some addition and subtraction cards for the children to work on. So you can use the standard beads with this game if you have them at home. If not, then you can use the ones that are provided in the box. For the demonstration I'm going to use the standard beads because it's a little bit easier to work with. So these games can take your children right from the basics of knowing the number bonds to 10 through to being able to use negative numbers or signed numbers. So the very first activity you can do with a very young child. You might have a younger sibling at home and your older child could show them how to do this. I'm showing it to you because the child does need to understand how the game works, so you may just do this once with your child and then move right on to the next level. So for this first activity, we're introducing to the child how to learn the number bonds to 10, and the adult needs to do this with the child or an older sibling with the child. And you say that you're going to make a snake and that you're going to turn the snake into a golden snake. And you can invite your child to choose one of the beads from the coloured bead set. And then if your child chooses a 9, you need to pick out the 1. So you need to pick out the numbers that are going to create 10 for them. So then your child can choose one and you pick the one that makes the 10, and you keep going, taking turns between you and your child. Until you've gone as far as you want to. And then you're going to show your child how to turn the coloured snake into a golden snake by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when they get to 10, they can put a marker so they know where they've got to 10. And they take their golden bead and they can say 9 and 1 make 10. And they take those away and put them at the side. It's important not to put them back in the box, but to put them at the side because we'll need them later. And then they can count to 10 again, and they do their next swap, and they keep counting to 10 all the way along until all of the snake has been turned into a golden snake. And then the way they check to see if the beads in the coloured bead stair and the golden bead snake are the same, if they've done it correctly, are to place your 10s vertically like that. And then you can invite the child to see, are there any beads in here that you can see make 10? So if they're very young, they may need to be counting these. If they've had more practice, they'll be quite fast at making their number bonds to 10 and matching them up. And if they've done it correctly, the coloured beads will match the golden beads. After you've done this a couple of times with your child, you can use these cards so that your child can actually practice on their own, so they won't need to have an adult with them or an older child with them. So all they do then is copy the beads that they see on there. So there's a white 7, looks a bit more grey on here, but that's a white 7. Then we have a 3, and a 4, and they just copy the beads that they see on there, and then they do it in exactly the same way as they did the other one. So using a pointer, they count to 10 and then swap for a golden bead. So that's set 1 of the snake cards. When your child is confident with set 1, you can move on to set 2, which is exactly the same, apart from the fact that you will have a head on the end of your snake here. So you've got your number bonds to 10, so we've got 10 there, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then there's 3 left on the end. So it's just, there's a remainder that they can't swap. And that's the snake's head. This is the next step of the addition snake game. For this step, you will also need your black and white beads, and we ask the child to lay them out in a triangle so they can see them. And 1 to 5 are fully in black, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 have 5 black ones, and then the rest of them in white. So the child should easily be able to pick up that one and see that that's 8, because they know there's 5 there, and they can see that there's 3 more. And those beads are going to be placeholders for when there's a remainder. With this activity, the adult doesn't need to pick the pieces for the child, so the child can be more independent with this one. They can choose any beads that they want to. They can also work with the cards if they want to, or they can work without them. So as before, they start counting, but this time they're not laid out with automatic number bonds to 10. So they start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they put their marker where they got to for 10. Now, we can take the 5 bead bar away, but we can't break the 8 bead bar in half. And we need to take 5 of them away and leave 3. So we're going to use our placeholder from the black and white beads there and put it there, so that when we take away the 8, we know that there are still 3 remaining. So we put our golden bead bar on, that's replaced our 10, and then we have our 3, which is holding, which is the placeholder. And then we start counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring our golden 10 bar over. Now the black one has to go back into the black and white beads there, because that one isn't part of the coloured snake. So that one goes back. Our 2 can go onto the pile, but this time our 7 can't be broken. We can't have 5 of them, break it in half and put 5 over there. So we need to put down a placeholder, and there's going to be 2 left, so the child can count after the pencil how many is remaining, and then they collect that one from the black and white beads there, and then they can take the 7 away, and then they start again from the black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they can get the golden bead out. The 2 goes back into the black and white beads there. We need a 1 as a placeholder there, because there was 1 left of the 9 bead bar, and the 9 goes over to the coloured stair pile. Start again with the black one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That one's a full 10 there, so we won't need any placeholders. We put the black and white bead back, and the coloured beads all go into our pile. Then we've got another 10 there, so that one's straightforward. Oops. And then we've got 3 on the end, and now that they know how to use the black and white beads there, they swap that 3 for a black and white one, and then they've changed fully into a golden snake. And again we check, as we did before, with our remainder there on the end as well. And the child should be getting a bit more confident now at picking out their number 1s to 10 so that they can check whether they've done it correctly. And if they all match up, then they know that they've done that. They know they've done that right. Now, sometimes they don't all fit in perfectly like that to make up 10s. So, for example, if instead of this 4, there had been, so instead of this 4 and 3, if there had been a 7 up there, then they would have just needed to say, okay, I've got a 7. I need a 4 to go with this, so I'm going to swap it for an equal amount. I swap my 7 for my equal amount, and then they can place them on. So if there are beads that they can't match up to the 10s here, then they can do a direct swap with them. So that's level 3, and level 4 is the same, so there's lots of those sorts for them to work on.